Yeah, right. Mm. Talk to him.
Are you really where you wanna be? Are you really where you need to be? Do you really wanna be so free? Can you make sure it's guaranteed? A lot of things bombard. Welcome to the Late Night Talk podcast. I am your host, Ernest Music, and I want to thank you so much for tuning into yet another episode of the Late Night Talk podcast, where we discuss all range of topics from a biblical perspective. Always remember, no topic is off hands, and make sure you share and subscribe wherever you get your podcast from, and share this podcast with someone it could bless. So thank you so much for all of my listeners out there. Thank you so much for tuning in. And again, Late Night Talk podcast, we are back. Well, I want to say to those who are just now listening, a happy new year. I know it was the last time that I was with you all, it was in December. But nevertheless, I'm glad to be back and glad to just be before you and just have your ear to listen to. And again, thank you so much. Well, today I would like to go ahead and wrap up this series. Life is hard, but life can be easy. Since I was last before you all, I have been dealing with a lot of trials, a lot of tribulations, a lot of setbacks, some failures, emotionally, physically, relationally, financially, just a lot. You know, sometimes us as believers, we deal with a lot. We face a lot in life, especially down here in this world. But as followers of Jesus, we should always expect that, you know. And I want to be real open and honest with you all. I want to just kind of take my time with this. Usually I keep it around about 10, 15 minutes, but today may go a little bit over, which is okay. Because I feel like this word is for someone that's out there that's facing hardships, that's dealing with a lot of uncertainty in life. And so if I could just have your time, that would be great. But I want to just go to a number of passages today. Matthew 7:21 through 29. And I'm starting at verse 21, where it says, "Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. Many will say to me on that day, 'Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and in your name drive out demons, and in your name perform miracles?' And I will tell them plainly, 'I never knew you. Away from me, you evildoers.'" Verse 24, "Therefore, if everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house. Yet it did not fall, because it had its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash. When Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowds were amazed at his teaching, because he taught as one who had authority and not as their teachers of law." You know, it's important that you know the foundation of which your life is built on. Is it built on sinking sand, or is it built on the rock? Is your life built as one who is all over the place, or is your life structured? I can be honest with you. At one point in time in my life was all over the place. I was here, I was there, I was doing this, I had this great idea. And I just found myself being all over the place. I remember my late spiritual father pulled me to the side, and he noticed that I was trying to do so much within the church. I was trying to be in the choir. I was trying to be in the audio team. I was trying to, be security. I was trying to do so much. And he pulled me to the side and said, you need to focus on one thing and one thing only, that which you are anointed and gifted in. And a lot of us, we find ourselves being all over the place. We find ourselves being unstable. And it's important, just like that passage I read, that we learn to build our lives upon the rock of Jesus Christ. One of the disservices that we tend to do within the church, especially over here in the West, I've found out these last 10 years, or 11 years actually, that sometimes you face hardships. Sometimes you face difficulties. You face uncertainties. You deal with unexpected tragedies, or you deal with things that you never imagined. And for some, hey, sometimes, it is easy. And really, for the most part, it's a lot that you go through. I'm reminded in Luke 14:25-34 of, the cost of being a disciple of Jesus. I'm reminded in verse 25 where it says, large crowds were traveling with Jesus and turning to them. And he said, if anyone comes to me and does not hate father or mother, wife, children, brothers, and sisters, yes, even their own life, such a person cannot be my disciple. And whoever does not carry their cross and follow me cannot be my disciple. Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? For if you lay the foundation and are not able to finish it, everyone who sees it will ridicule you, saying, this person began to build and wasn't able to finish. Or suppose a king is about to go to war against another king. Won't he first sit down and consider whether he is able with 10,000 men to oppose the one who is coming against him with 20,000? If he is not able, he will send a delegation while the other is still a long way off and will ask for terms of peace. In the same way, those of you who do not give up everything you have cannot be my disciples. Salt is good, but if it loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is fit neither for the soil nor for the manure pile. It is thrown out. Whoever has ears to hear, let them hear. One of the things that we don't do is whenever we give our lives to the Lord, right? We don't count the cost. And again, we give this misguided perception that, if you give your life to the Lord, then everything is going to be right. You're going to drive the nicest car. You're going to live in the nicest house. You're going to have millions and millions upon millions of dollars. And this is just such a misguided practice that we have over here, because just reading from that passage, it's important that we count the cost. We count the cost. Now, what I'm not saying is that just every single day that you're going to, face hardships. Because Jesus even told us, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. And that passage reminds us that no matter what we're facing in life, the Lord has already overcome it all. And he has the blueprint for living life while we're down here as his disciples. So the bottom line is this. Life is hard. Yes, life is very hard. But life can be easy if you have the right foundation in life. And the right foundation is Jesus Christ. He is all that you need. He is all that you should desire. He is all that you should crave. And I know that this is cliche, but he really is more than enough. And as I mentioned at the top of this podcast, a lot of what I was dealing with is simply because I didn't put him first. I didn't consult with him. I didn't sit down with him and surrender my will, my ways, my wants, my desires to him. And I found myself all over the place. But you know what I realized? Once I realized that, I simply just turned and said, you know what, Lord? I surrender to you. I surrender. Because no matter what I face down here, I would rather face it with you. Because you are the one who can guide me out of whatever I'm going through. And it's just that simple, people. A lot of times we make life so hard. But you have to remember that no temptation is overtaking you except that which is common to mankind. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, he will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. So no matter what you're facing, he always makes a way out. So I want to leave you with this, as I always do. Life is hard, but you know what? Life can be easy and life can be peaceful. And it tells us in Isaiah 26:3 that he will keep you in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. So no matter what we're going through, just know that you are going to come out of your trial. You're going to come out of your tribulation, and you're going to be just fine. So until next time, I want to thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Late Night Talk podcast. And again, make sure you share this episode with someone who needs it. And make sure you subscribe. Leave a review. Let me know how you like the podcast, or maybe there's something you don't like. I'm all for constructive criticism. But until then, thank you so much. God bless you. Bye bye.
The world keeps calling me. 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 It's gonna be some brighter days, and I really want some peace.